Hello everyone. I haven't updated this channel in a while because I don't know, I just stopped doing it. Ooh. I decided to do this video challenge that NFGeeks asked us to do, and I just recently joined their Facebook page. I have like 10 questions that I remembered to write down. Question number 1, what is your type? My type is an INFP. What are you primarily interested in? Do you want the list? I really enjoy, my big thing is writing. I like to write a lot, which with that comes reading, specifically fantasy, but you know, I'll write anything and I'll read anything, with the exception of like philosophy. That's kind of goes over my head a little bit. How do you relate? Oh, I'm not even done with what I was talking about. What else am I interested in? I'm interested in photography. I know everybody with the invention of the iPhone thinks they're photographers, although I don't think I'm a photographer, but I do like enjoy doing it. Mythology, ornithology. I'm obsessed with birds. I don't know if you can see, I have like a picture of a kingfisher right there. Yeah, I like birds a lot. I actually regret doing my English degree. I should have went and done biology and majored, like concentrated in ornithology. Would have been really cool. How do you relate to your temperament? I misunderstood this question at first, so I went and took like a bunch of temperament tests. For the record, I got the sanguine temperament, but apparently it just means like the NFs. And both of my two good friends are INFJs. I know how I found two in the same vicinity of each other is beyond me, but I did it. And I like INFJs a lot. There's hurdles that we have to cross. I know a handful of ENFPs, which are just a joy to be around. ENFGs are ENFGs. ENFJs are nice also. They can be a little anal, but everybody's a little anal about something. I don't really know a lot of INFPs. Maybe I do, I just don't know that they are INFPs. But yeah, I know one INFP, and we get along, but there is this, I don't know, it's weird to relate to another INFP. What got you interested in MBTI? Well, I took the test back during the MySpace years when like tests were like everything. You just like took them constantly, and so I remember getting an INFP, although I did get INTP a few times, but the majority of the tests that I take, I usually get INFP. What was the question? Got me interested. And so, I moved on, and then I met my one of my INFJ friends, and he kind of got me back into it, and it's kind of stuck ever since. How has MBTI affected your life? I think it's helped, but it's also, I don't know, I don't feel like I've moved anywhere. It's nice to be able to dissect people, and I try not to put too much stock into it, but it's nice to be able to kind of understand myself a little bit better, but at the same time, it leads me to even more questions that, for whatever reason, are not answerable. So an object, of course I would pick a book, but I picked this book. It's probably reverse, but I'm really obsessed with like first edition copies, which I kind of collect books, and I wanted this edition, with this cover, hardcover, and I went on, most of the ones that I found were like, in the 400 plus price range. I was like, what? That's crazy. So finally I just really wanted to read the book, so I bought it used on Amazon, and they kind of have like a stock image, which is not this copy, and so I bought it for like 20 bucks, and then this came in the mail, and I was like, wow. And it's first edition and everything, so this is like one of my favorite objects. Greatest misconception about your type? Lord. Do you want the list? You know, there's this misconception that we are, you know, we're just, you know, like, what am I trying to think of? Like Care Bears, like their place in the sky, care a lot. Like, people probably think that's what the inside of our brains look like. It's not. It's not at all. I mean, maybe for some people it is. And I mean, there's a, if I had a map of my brain, like a Lord of the Rings map, like, you know, the little Care-a-Lot place would be like in the corner somewhere, and then everything else would just be like really dark. I'm a pretty dark person. I mentioned photography. I for some reason, I take pictures of dead animals. I've just always done it. I don't know why. Death really interests me. I like to explore it, and I don't know. So yeah, and I also, you know, I read darker stuff. Like China Mieville is one of my favorite writers, and he's not, you know, this fluffy person to read. He's actually really morbid and a little out there, kind of like H.P. Lovecraft. What are some limitations that you experience? I'm not a logical person. I mean, I guess there is logic in here somewhere, but I'm just not good at it. Mathematics. One of the reasons I didn't major in science was because of the math part. And I always used to be interested in architecture when I was younger, but I just knew that I couldn't do it because of the math part. I have a hard time, like, adding and subtracting, like, you know, your tip when you're like at a restaurant and you want your, like, the final outcome to be like an even number. Like, I have a hard time doing that. So, what is your ultimate dream endeavor? To write a book. I mean, you know, when I was younger, it was more like, I want to be the new J.K. Rowling, and now it's more like, God, I just want to write the damn thing. I don't even care if it gets published. I just want it done. I want it out, edited, in a manuscript form, which I think will happen at the end of the year. I'm halfway through now. If I finish it by the end of the year, then I can spend the next year editing it. I don't plan things, because when I plan things, it never happens the way that I plan it, and so I just don't plan it, because if it's not going to happen the way that I want it to happen, then forget it. For question of choice, I don't know what to ask. That's terrible. That's a terrible thing to make an INFP. Like, what question? There's so many questions. I don't know. I'm skipping this one. That's terrible. How dare you? Yeah, so that is it, and hopefully you know me better, I guess, possibly. Peace!